Abigail. It's been a very beautiful journey, getting to know her and just seeing her grow into the woman that she's become today.
When I think of Abby, I think of sunshine.
Abigail, she just makes me laugh, funny.
Abby, I think about Princess, Wakanda forever.
And so what comes to mind is just simply amazing. She's well-rounded.
When I think of Abigail, I just think of gifted.
Abby is confident.
You know, people can like fake sing. She can like sing, right?
She is a jack of all trades.
My bubbly little princess. I even think about Shuri, how smart she is and how she is absolutely royalty.
I think of a rainbow full of beautiful colors.
And she can dance, she can step. She's mad talented. I mean, I don't know how to say it. She could draw, she could sing, she could dance, she creates her own music, she can rap. I mean,
Abigail is fun.
She does it all, and I see myself in her, and so I'm grateful to be able to, love on her and she love on me, and just see the relationship that God is able to produce in something that seems just like a teacher-student relationship.
Ashley's one of those people that embodies some of the fruits of the Spirit. Two that come to mind are patience and kindness.
Ashley es muy pacífica.
Ashley is a quiet boss. Like real talk, she is strong, but she is in charge. And she is not afraid to step out of her comfort zone to do what she gotta do.
But over the last couple of years, I've really been able to see her patience with her classmates and whatever's going on at home, or just really with everything. And then through that patience, she's able to be kind to each and everyone in this building. And I think those are just two, characters, traits that God has given her. It really just blesses those around her.
Ashley, the standard, my teacher. I always think about she is a teacher. And I always tell her that I speak that into your life, AC, my girl.
You have the attributes of a great teacher, so I hope you choose that profession, because the world needs more great teachers.
So when I think about Laura, I think about maturity. I could truly say she is the most improved student I have ever taught from one year to the next.
Laura is growth.
Laura is self-assured.
Going from making D's and C's to legitimately being one of the top students in the class.
Laura, redemption. I just think about redemption for her.
I've seen her grow into this young woman who has courage, who has pride in who she is and her heritage and her culture.
This was a tough year, but she came back so strong.
And one of the coolest things about Laura is how she responds to when she does something wrong. So even if she gets in trouble, because she's had her fair share, she's always bounced back really strong.
She was able to have that redemption here, surrounded by people that love her and that could support her.
She takes her classwork very seriously. She's usually the first person to finish every single assignment. Laura has truly stepped up, and it's been a pleasure to see her grow. And I can't wait to see what she becomes. I can't wait to see what she does. So I'm gonna miss my assistant. I don't know who I'm gonna get to make my copies when I don't do it in the morning, but whoever it is, they're gonna have some tough shoes to fill.
Justice, it has been a joy getting to know you over the past 3 years and watching you grow up. You are becoming an amazing young man.
Justice is optimistic.
Justice is personable.
One of my favorite memories of you is from last year, the end of year field trip. We went to Blue Ridge, and the camp counselors made us go on this night hike, pitch black dark. All the other students were running to the front of the woods, falling over into holes and all that stuff. And Miss Alysia and I were together in the back, kind of stumbling along, and everyone left us except for you. You stayed back to make sure that we were okay.
Warm-hearted.
Justice is a pure leader.
There's something about when he pierces his lips and laser focuses in on you, you know that whatever he's about to say and the results that he wants, are just, he wants it to be fair and just. And so when I think about him, the leader that he is, I really do think about how his name personifies exactly who he is.
That's the kind of leader he is. It's just innate, it's within him.
I remember thinking then, wow, this kid who I met when he was in 6th grade is becoming an amazing young man. And you make that more and more true every single day that I get to spend with you. I'm gonna miss you next year, but you're gonna be great.
Marshall is a great guy.
Man, Marshall, you're funny.
Marshall is fun-loving.
Considerate. No one else is probably gonna think about that adjective for him. But I say that because every hug that he gives me is intentional. It's always just an intentional, Mrs. Stanley, are you good? And I appreciate that because there are days where I'm not. And so his hugs and his consideration for me and his mom is just really sweet for me. So definitely consideration.
I mean, granted, he's always trying to box it out with you. He can't see my hands, but he's a great kid, and I can't wait to see what he does, man. He's gonna do something with his hands.
Marshall is inventive.
Marshall is resilient.
Marshall is a leader. I've seen that as he's gotten older, he is a leader. I just hope and pray that he will always lead people to do what's right.
When Marshall is really interested in something, he gains a level of understanding that is greater than his peers. For example, Marshall really likes basketball, and his understanding, his basketball IQ in a sense, is actually greater than his peers. It just goes to show that when Marshall puts his mind in anything, he could be great at it, and he can have a level of understanding that's greater than those who are around him.
So I chose to speak about Alex. I met Alex when he entered Hope Academy in the 5th grade and knew from day one that he was going to be quite a handful.
When I think about Alex, I think about potential.
Alex is a leader. Expressive.
So one of my first memories of Alex is we took a field trip to the Piedmont Environmental Center, and I turned my back to talk to some of the people in charge there, and I turned around and Alex is 30 feet high in a tree. And I was so shocked that he had done that, but so impressed at his body control and ability to scale a tree that quickly.
Yeah, Alex, you're pretty athletic.
This kid's gonna be somebody great. It's just getting him to realize that, and then we'll be on his own.
Alex, leader, I know that it's so cliche, but he is the one that goes first.
The growth that we've seen over the last 4 years in Alex, the ways that he has grown in controlling himself and grown in stopping himself from saying things that in 5th grade he just would have laid out on the table and said to everyone. The ways he's grown in taking responsibility for his own actions, and the ways he's grown in setting goals for himself have just been tremendously encouraging. So when I look at Alex, I just pray and trust him to the Lord, that the Lord is going to do great things in him. Alex is a leader, and I can't wait to see what company or what school or what sports team or whatever he's going to be the head of and be leading.
Maya, you're such a sweet young lady. I think sometimes people take your shyness as a weakness, but there's strength in that, and so don't you ever lose that.
And I remember one of the things that I used to think about her was, even though she wasn't a behavioral issue, she's very inconsistent. So some days she would give you, great work and, great effort, and then another day she would give you lackluster effort. But by God's grace, the word that I think of when I think about Maya now is consistent. This is big. This was like the opposite of her character when she was coming into Hope Academy. To see her grow from being someone who doesn't listen and being untrustworthy to being this consistent person, I think that's what we're all about here.
Maya, metamorphosis. And I say that because just watching her bloom. This year she actually came, we are seeing the butterfly. And so I love the maturation of her behavior, even the way she has just bloomed into what we knew she could be, the young lady we knew knew she could be. So metamorphosis is what I think about with Maya.
Maya is supportive.
Maya is thoughtful.
Maya, I love the way you think about things.
Maya is nurturing.
Maya is mature.
On top of all that, she's just a real chill student, real down to earth. You know, it's interesting that Maya is this great swimmer. She's been swimming for a long time, and she could probably beat all of us in a race. But one thing about being a swimmer is having consistent and strong strokes so that you can stay above the water and not panic or not go too slow. And that's exactly how she is in class. And that's exactly how she is with her friends. She's consistent. She's like a rock. She's solid.
At Igano is appreciative.
Igano is diligent.
When I think of Igano, I think about quiet strength.
And I say that because in a world where a lot of times we feel entitled, I know from him, I know he's appreciative of all the things that people do for him. He's a yes sir, yes ma'am kind of kid. He's always saying thank you. And I really appreciate that about him.
Igano is passionate.
At Igano, you're pretty funny.
Honor. It has been an honor to watch him this year, an honor to watch him score goals. But it was also an honor in one of his toughest moments to see he and his father interact in their language. Like I knew that was, for me, sacred ground to witness he and his father just speaking their language and to just know that he honored his father's words.
Me and Igano share a love for soccer. I was impressed by his knowledge of soccer and just how he knows who he loves. He has his favorite players. We'll debate and argue whatnot. It feels as if like I'm talking to someone who's a little bit older than 14 years old. And so there's a level of maturity that he has that I find very refreshing. And I think that his peers see that as well. And I know he just models maturity. He's still a kid, but at the same time, he knows how to turn it on and turn it off. And I really do appreciate that, just that awareness from Igano.
I've known Christian since he was in 2nd or 3rd grade, when he was in elementary school and used to come to our tutoring program. One of the things that is really rare about Christian is that he still has the same kindness now as he did back then.
When I think of Christian, I think of friend. And I don't think of just a regular friend, I think of a good friend.
Kindness is something that so easily gets pushed out of people, and one of my hopes for Christian is that piece of him always remains the same.
Christian is thoughtful.
Christian's mom and dad have done a great job at teaching them what it means to be a friend.
There's one thing I know is that the Lord handpicked Miss Tamika to be his mom. Christian is super loved, and it's clear in the way that he holds himself.
Christian is reliable.
I'm Christian, the professor, the encyclopedia. He is a walking encyclopedia of all this knowledge.
We all know he's going to be a brilliant scientist one day. In fact, he already is.
Christian is consistent. Christian has always been just a well-mannered young man.
Every person in this world would be better if they had at least one friend like Christian.
Alysia, we've spent a lot of time together this year in art club and humanities class and at lunch, before school. Yeah, I feel like you're always there. I'll turn around and just kind of pop out. But whenever you do pop out, it is the most joyful moment because you are just so lovely and you are so kind.
Alysia is the sweetest girl in the entire world.
I'm Alysia, hugger. She always gives me the sweetest hugs.
Alysia is playful.
I know that this year has not always been easy, whether we're writing in class or we're working on origami or whatever in art club. But I love that you always try, and I want you to remember as you go into high school that you can do so much more than you think you can do, and you really are capable.
She is a hard worker. She will grind it out.
Thank you for bringing so much joy into my class this year. I have loved getting to know you, so come visit.
Okay, Fatima. So when I think about Fatima, there's this twinkle in her eye that she gets when she digs something that you say. And it's undeniable and she can't hide it. She tries, but she can't hide it.
When I think about Fatima, I think about someone who is beyond her years.
Fatima is inquisitive.
Fatima es muy chistosa.
I just think about the quiet strength that she is. She had a really, really tough moment this year. And she probably would say it was one of her worst times, but I would actually say it was one of her best times.
Because of some of the challenges that she's had in life, she's had to be strong in ways that, children her age usually don't have to be.
Fatima is determined.
Because it was the opportunity for her to be vulnerable and to release just everything that was on the inside of her and just give that to the Lord.
So I think of this maturity, but not just maturity in personality, but more maturity in life.
She is absolutely one of the strongest young ladies I've ever met. And you wouldn't know that just from her appearance alone. So hence the reason quiet strength. But she is absolutely one of the sweetest and strongest young people that you will ever meet, and not even know why she's so strong. And she's been strong for so many reasons, and you'll never know them unless you get the opportunity to just sit and speak with her and talk with her.
She is wise beyond her years.
When I think of Dulce, I don't even know where to begin. But I think of fun, I think of funny, I think of smart, I think of how talented she is. Dulce reminds me a little bit of myself in the fact that she believes she is welcome everywhere.
The word I have for Dulce is open. She's a very open person with her feelings, with what she's going through, with how she feels about you, positive or negative.
One time I was walking into my office and guess who was sitting behind my desk in my office chair with my reading glasses on? Dulce.
What she's thinking at the time, positive or negative.
We had to spend the night with the 7th and 8th grade girls. It was so much fun. Guess who was in my bed, under my covers, laying on my pillow? Dulce.
Dulce is energetic.
Dulce is passionate.
What she think you should do, positive or negative.
And it got to the point where Mrs. Hammer, Dulce, and I were laughing so hard, telling stories, making stuff up, that Mrs. Reppert had to call us and tell us to quiet down a little bit.
Dulce, I put like sister, daughter, friend, because whatever role she plays in your life, she's loyal to that.
Dulce is genuine.
Coolest thing about Dulce is that she's just genuine.
Dulce, I'll miss you, girl. You're tons of fun. When you come back and visit me, I will let you sit in my office chair, maybe even let you put on my reading glasses.
Jules. He really doesn't like when I call him that, but I don't really care, so no, I'm just kidding.
Jules is consistent.
Jules, you're strong on the field and in the classroom.
Jules, the ultimate teacher roaster.
Jules is multi-talented.
The guy who takes every single opportunity to roast me, viciously, actually.
Jules, Eagle. I just think about, he even received the Eagle of the Year. This is our first year with sports.
If you know him, just ask him why. I don't think there's a reason.
Jules is honest.
And I just think about him soaring. In height and stature and all of that. He has just soared this year. I've even seen him. I can't even call Jules humble anymore because he has really come into his own, and it's been really cool for me. So Eagle for Jules.
Man, Jules is a great kid. Just seeing him come out of his shell over the 3 years that I've gotten to know him has been amazing. Where before he would just examine and kind of observe the situation, keep his mouth shut. Now he's a leader. He's somebody that everybody looks to, and not just in the classroom, not just academically, but even on the court, right? He's a naturally gifted athlete. But at the same time, he's going to be a student, and that's amazing considering, where he's come from. And this is his 3rd and 4th language. Being able to travel with him to the science fair, I've got to see him grow as a young man, academically, spiritually, athletically, and as a citizen of this country. It's just been an amazing thing. I wish him grace as he goes on to track and field. Perhaps he'll play basketball or football. Everything he does and everything he touches is pretty much golden. There's really only one issue with this guy, and that's just, why is he always trying to roast me? He don't even know why he do it. Listen, don't tell him I said this, but I think secretly, he wants to be me.
So Julian, I remember when you first came to Hope Academy in 5th grade, you were quiet and shy, but still you were a great student and a really hard worker.
Man, I've seen Julian just grow from, this girl in 6th grade who wasn't sure about herself to this comfortable young woman. And she has like this maternal instinct about her. It's really hard to explain unless you know her.
Julian, maternal womanhood. When I see her, like she is probably everybody's auntie, or so she's gonna be like the best auntie, mother, all that. Just this maternal glow that she has about her, and this womanhood. We have really seen Julian grow into that.
A lot of the younger girls look up to her. She's definitely a leader by example.
When I think of Julian, I think of strength, I think of grace, courage, and just great beauty.
You've always been a leader. When you were younger in 5th grade, you led by example.
Julian is engaging.
Julian is prayerful.
You still are a leader, only now you're also bold and willing to speak truth into your friends' lives, and I really admire that about you.
One Friday afternoon, I was hanging out in Mrs. Hammer's room. Julian came in and said, "Mama June, can I read an essay I just wrote to you?" And I said, "Sure, I'd love to hear your essay." And so she projected it on Miss Hammer's screen and she read it to me. And it was a beautiful, her beautiful story of her journey from Africa to this country, to Hope Academy. And I said, "Julian, would you share that?" And so the very following week on that Tuesday, it was her turn. She came up to me and said, "Mama June, you got my essay? I'm ready to go." And I was looking at her and I said, "No, I don't have your essay. Don't you have your essay?" And neither one of us had the essay. And there was that moment of panic, and I think there was 260 eyeballs staring at us. And I told Julian, I said, "Just start from the beginning. Just start from the beginning." And she went up there and she was funny and the audience laughed. She was poignant and they cried. And in that moment I knew that she was ready. She was becoming the woman that God had created her to be, and she would leave this place and not only tell people about her love of Jesus Christ, but she would prove it through her beauty, her grace, her strength, and her courage.
Super impressed with your ability to speak publicly, and really, especially a few weeks ago when you had to speak in front of a large crowd without any notes at all, and you weren't given much warning, and you did an amazing job.
Kiryat is a great student. She's a top academic student. She gives you no behavioral issues. She's gonna do whatever you ask her.
Kiryat is self-assured.
Kiryat is intuitive.
But nobody wants to hear all that mess. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Kiryat is a dancer.
Kiryat es muy talentosa.
So one of the dopest things about being a teacher in general, but especially working here, is finding out what children are passionate about.
Kiryat, layers. And I say layers because every time I think I know Kiryat, I see something else.
And one of the coolest moments I had is when Kiryat, or perhaps it was Fatima or Ashley, I don't know, one of them let slip that Kiryat was a ballet dancer.
I found out something else new about her, which is cool for me, because I didn't know she could dance, and I've known Kiryat since forever.
And I was so amazed, because if you know Kiryat, you don't know that.
But just layers. I'm always seeing these new things about Kiryat, so layers.
I remember when we went to go see The Wiz, and when we went to go see The Lion King, she would let me know like the dancers who were really good and the dancers who were decent. And I was like, wow, so you're a dancer too? And what I ended up realizing was, wow, Kiryat has this extreme creative side, this side to her where she can express herself through dance, through motion. And I was actually just genuinely impressed that she did that on the side, but the fact that she was willing to share that with us was just super dope. Wherever Kiryat goes, she's gonna give her best. I just think of like hidden talent, hidden creativity when I think about her. And I can't wait till she's able to express herself fully through the avenues that she chooses to do so. And I just can't wait for the day she has her huge performance and is able to showcase her talent. So Kiryat, thank you for sharing that with me. And I look forward to seeing what you can do in the future.
May your strength be unlimited. May your stamina be endless. May your plan be clear. May your heart be strong. May your work exceed all expectations.